Mike, another pre-season game, 2-1 defeat this time at home to Newport County. Just take us through that one for us quickly, mate.
Yeah, I thought that the Newport turned up with a very strong team, so we knew talking to Wayne Atwell before the game that it was going to be a tough one for us, especially with the heat and the conditions, and amongst the trialists and the academy players and a little sprinkling of our first team players. I thought we did quite well.
Yeah, again, I mean, for all in attendance, definitely a game of two halves. I know it's an old cliche, but first half Newport, very, very strong side, looked like a hell of a lot of first teamers and possibly deservedly took a 1-0 lead into the break. Second half, I felt we handled that a hell of a lot better. Came back into the game ourselves and were undone by a strike at the end that was worthy of winning any football match. Second half performance, a few standouts there amongst those trialists. Anyone, like say from last week, that are really sort of bringing themselves on?
I thought Jack Pearson done quite well when he come on. Young Leighton as well, come on up front, where he normally plays sort of wide right. The lad Wilking from Swindon Town's just got released. He's done quite well. We've had Harvey Bunker in from Forest Green tonight as well. He's done great. So yeah, lots of promising little things there. Even Harry Burns coming in, I thought took a bit, sort of 10-15 minutes to get his feet, but once he found it, then started getting the ball down and playing. So yeah, lots and lots of positives for us, and you know, it's pleasing to see, because there's going to be times during the season that we have to depend on the youth team players coming into the squad, and it's good to see that they can operate against that sort of kind of opposition.
Absolutely, and obviously little hat tip there to the academy, and obviously the work that Joe's doing there to breed these guys into a level where they can step into the team and not look out of place. Our goal again tonight has come from another one of your signings, Dan Griffiths. That's 2-2 now. How's he settling in? He seems to be taking the place by storm.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's just jarred his knee towards the end when he just come off, and so we just thought it was better just to take him off as a precaution. We'll go to Cirencester on Friday night with roughly the same sort of squad again, because of all the COVID cases that we've got, so they're not going to be available for selection until the Saturday. So so far these have done quite well. It's makes your mind up about a few people as well, whether they'll be staying or going. So and just a bit of a special nod to George Rigg, who's leaving the club yesterday.
Yeah, we were obviously going to ask. Obviously, it broke on Twitter sort of last night through sort of fairly sort of unofficial channels that Riggy had decided to move on. We were, of course, going to ask you what kind of led to that happening. It's
a bit of a shame, really. I just think that it was Riggy's choice to do that. He's got a better offer from another club, and we're not in a position to give him what he wants just at the moment, because we wanted to see him play some games. He's had such a serious knee injury that it was a bit of a shame that he couldn't hang on for another sort of 3-4 games, and then we could have had a look at him and made that decision. So it is a bit of a pity that he's moving on, but we've got a good relationship, and that's still solid as well, because he's a great lad, and he'll be coming back to say goodbye to all the lads and that, so there's no problem between me and him, but he needs to look after himself. He's got a contract on the table with another club, and so fair play to him for that.
Yeah, and it's given us an opportunity again for you to sort of flex yourself in terms of the managerial tactics side of things tonight as well. We've seen a few people operate across the park where they wouldn't normally be. Second half particularly, Callum Gunner playing at right back, Kieran Parcell moving out to the left and sort of almost going a 3-back formation, looked really, really tidy. Yeah. Again, sort of stuff that you're going to be looking at doing throughout the rest of pre-season, or are you fairly set in your ways in that respect?
No, I'm never set in my ways, because I think there's, being a footballer, I hate it when they pigeonhole you just into one position. There are certain players that will not play in other positions, but there's, when you play a profile, somebody like Callum, he's got such a strong engine that he can play wing-back role, he can play as a right-back, he can play centre midfield. And like we've just said to him there in the changing room, another good game from him. Just at times a little bit of quality with his final ball or his final pass, and that hopefully the more games he plays, the better it will be.
Good stuff. And obviously one question that's obviously going to be burning in the minds of people back at home, and it has been asked quite frequently across social media. We've seen now obviously a set amount of trialists that have come through. We've got the academy that are sort of bleeding their way onto the first team pitch as well. Have you still got your eye out there for any potential new recruits, or is that pretty much it now? You're set and solid with the squad that you've got here? Or
we're still looking, definitely. Even what's happened with Riggy yesterday, we thought that we might be starting in with the squad at the beginning of the season. So we'll be definitely looking at it. We've got Adam Mann to come back in, which will be, I think, back end of next week. He returns back from France. He's got to self-isolate for a bit as well. So I think we're trying to get him in for the Eastleigh game and the Torquay games, if I remember rightly. And then it's just basically, out of these 6 or 7, we've got another 2 or 3 trialists to look at that have had COVID, so they'll be coming back in. That's been a bit of a nuisance, but I think it could very well be the season does get interrupted from time to time because of COVID, especially if the rules stay as they are. And so we've got to have a look at as many players as we possibly can, because we've got, obviously, at times we've got to play them.
Well, fingers crossed. Obviously, the season isn't quite as disrupted as the last couple have been. It'd be nice to get a full season under your belt, I'm sure. Looking ahead, obviously, to your next game now, we take the boys on the road for the first time in pre-season. Cirencester up next. Games that a lot of Chippenham fans are going to have quite fond memories of from their time over the last FA Cup run. Any more sort of players coming back in? Are their isolation periods going to be done by this point, or is Friday going to be a little bit of a chance to get some of your first team boys back in the squad?
No, one day too early, unfortunately. So Saturday will be the first day that they become available. So like I said before, we get on really well with Cirencester Town Football Club, because they also supply us with the facilities for training on a Thursday night, and Scotty Griffin over there with John Bruff, who I know quite well from the Cheltenham days. So they're fantastic people, and great to be associated with them. So we wanted to do them a little bit of a favour by giving them a game, but actually they're not a team to be taken lightly, and
as we found out in the past.
Yeah, they'll be a very good team, and mates being mates, that they'll definitely want to beat us, so that'll be all good.
Excellent. Well, a 2-1 defeat tonight against a very strong Newport side. I don't think you're going to lose too much sleep over that one. A great performance from the boys, particularly second half, and I'm sure we all join you in wishing all the very best for the upcoming game against Cirencester, and we'll see you there.
Great. Thanks, Simon.
Excellent. Cheers, Mike.
Cheers.